Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. I am Leanne and I am a book artist from the Pacific Northwest. Today I wanted to make a masculine type journal. Here's a journal that I've made in the past. This one's called Fish Tales and I have a step-by-step tutorial for it. So I wanted to do something without recreating the wheel. I didn't want to make this exact same book, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the digitals and create something completely different. So this is the little kit and it has a bunch of fish type things and fisher people. It just has that wonderful outdoorsy feel to it. I did this piece right here on a piece of cardstock and I'm going to use this for my cover. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, from printing it, which oftentimes is the case, there's a little ledge, a little white edge around the printer paper. So I have found that happens so often, I don't even fight it anymore. You can play with your computer, figure out the settings, make it go straight to the edge. And if that's you, it's like, I'm impressed. But you know, a lot of people, it's not them, and it's not an easy thing, and you end up having this edge. So I'm going with it. I'm not going to struggle it. I'm not going to stress it. I'm going with it. So there, I've got those all cut off. So I want to make this a different size than I made this one right here. I was thinking of using the whole sheet, something like that. I sure do like this side though, with all of those things. So I think what I'm going to do is fold it in half this way because I do like it best. I pulled out my pictures, and there's a bunch of pictures that would look great right here. So I'm going to go ahead and audition some of those pictures. We'll cut them out and I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so I've cut out all my pictures that I thought might work nice on here, and depending on which picture I choose, that'll determine how long I want my book to create some kind of a balance. So there were some little pictures like this. They're really cute. If I outlined it, you know, I could do something like that, but they kind of do get lost within all the busyness of the background. There's something big like this. It's commanding. It's fun. I think that's a good option. I also love this one. Even though it's small, it has so much blank space around it that it still commands your attention. And it's a little boy. A little boy like that just is so versatile. I also have this one. That's not bad. I do like this one. That's another good option. And I like this one too. So I need to decide which one I want. Alright, it was a tough decision, but I'm going to go with this one. It's big, it's bold, it's attention-getting, and it's also kind of whimsical, and it's like every fisher person's dream. Could you imagine catching a fish like that? So I'm going to do that one. So I think I'm going to try cutting this off like maybe about here. So it'll be a little notebook size, and I'm going to have coffee dyed paper in the inside, not with a lot of tucks and things going on. I wanted actually something more that's going to be like a practical use type thing. Yes, I'm going to do that one. Actually, I can take this one then, and I can make another little notebook right there. I think I'm going to do that as well. All right, let's get going on this one. First thing I want to do, I want to distress the edges, and then I think what I might do is still put a background on it. We'll see. If I have a background on it, it'll make it pop just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these edges as well. So by doing those edges, it just pops already. But let me take a look at it with a black piece of cardstock right behind it. I think it'll just kind of carry on the story a little bit more. I could either rip it or I could cut it. I think first I'll do one of each. So it doesn't need to be very big, just enough to kind of frame it to make your eyes draw to it. Okay, there's that one. have no idea what this one will look like. Might get it on there and say, oh, good lordy. No, 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 no. Then again, it might be just the perfect feel, a nice rustic. All right, let's play with that. Haven't really made a decision about it yet. Just getting the edges of it a little bit more manageable. The top part is more narrow than the bottom. So if I did that, that's what it would look like. The black is too much for something like that. If I had maybe a brown, because what happens with that black, it becomes the center of attention. I think I'm going to keep it nice and clean cut and just go with my straight line. So it's maybe like, you know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. I'd say it's under 1/4 of an inch, but it's something like that. Okay, I'm going to glue it up. Get it positioned nicely, like that. If I want to, I can also put a little bit of cheesecloth underneath it. If I did this color, it'll have the appearance of water, that feel, with just because of the turquoise blue. Adds a little life to it. I think I'm going to do that. I like it. So I'm going to lay my glue just along that edge to catch it, and then decide how much more I want. I don't know if I want it on all sides or just some of it kind of sticking out. I think I'm just going to go a touch on all sides. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to just start laying pieces with a little bit of glue. And then if it's too long, I can just go back and I can trim it. Then that way it's there, it's ready to go. It's good. So this little critter can just kind of bend over, turn the side, turn the corner. A little there, a little there. There. Now I need to get that to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and take my coffee dyed paper and I'm going to make some pages to go inside my journal. Okay, I have some pages cut here. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one had a little rip in it, so I think I'm going to take it out and I'm going to go with 7. Okay, so I have different papers here with different levels of ink saturation. So I'm going to move my papers around. I think the first one I want to be this one. Then I'll go with a washed out one. I'll go with this one. And then I'll go with another light one. Either of those, doesn't matter. Polka dot, and I'll end with that one. Okay, I have all these cut. Let's see how they fit in here. Hopefully it fits spectacularly. Boom! Nice. And that's going to go on there, and our string will go across here. And I think I might put the year or something right there, or one of the words. So let's take a look. I think I'm going to leave this straight notebook. I'm not going to put a lot of different papers and things inside of it. I might do a few with these little scraps that I've got. So when we open up to here, I think what I want I want to see this. So I'm going to cut that out and just kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. Okay, that's going to go there. That creates just a little bit more interest. I'm just going to rip this one though. You can cut yours, but I'm just ripping it. I want it to look outdoorsy like. I think I'll put this one in here. And then this one right here. So I have 3 of them placed inside. And whether you want it up high, down low, in the middle, whatever you'd like to do is just perfect. So I'm going to take a look at mine and call it good. So now what I want to do, I'm going to bind it up. Before I do that, I want to work the inside of my cover just a little bit. I'm going to get the edges, and what I can do, I think, is put this newspaper in the inside as well. I cut that out of, not cut it out, I printed it out on just normal copy paper. So on this project here, I printed everything on normal copy paper except this cover. I did it on cardstock. If you do it on a really nice quality paper, you'll get a whole different feel and a different look. So just keep that in mind as you're doing your printing. If you want it to have more of a crisp, it's just a better image if you do it on better paper. That's what I'm trying to say. But for what I'm doing, this actually works out just fine. So now let's see what I need to do to make this work. And that's perfect. So I'm going to cut the edges and work it out. So with these also, I'm going to go ahead and just stress the edges. And I also want to distress the inside here, just because there's going to be that coloring sticking out. So this is for the front side. Glue it in. And this is for my back side. Okay. Now, there we go. I'm going to position this, clip it, and get ready to sew. I'm going to do the pamphlet stitch. So I've got that all sewn in now. And I'm going to put this on at the end because I don't want to mar it up and muck it up. So I'm going to save that for later. So I do know I want this on this page right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and I can do distressing on it. I have a little white showing. But if you don't, you can just lay it down just as is without doing this part. So I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to clip off the very top and the very bottom, any parts that's sticking over the edge. So I have all these fish. My idea for this book is to have fish hanging all throughout it. So, for example, let me cut out some fish here. So I'm going to have this one hanging from this page right there. So what I want to use is something like this. This is just my, the thread that I use to bind it. It's just a crochet thread. So I'm going to put a little glue on the back. And then I need to kind of cover the back up. So for the back side, I do want to put some distress activity going on my fish because it's not going to have the back to it. Well, I should have done that before I glued it, just saying. Get my glue going again. That. And then there's a word here. It says aluminum hook. I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to glue that right on top. So now what I can do, I can either glue this on the back side, or let me see what I want to do, or I can sew it through the page. Since I have the needle on, I'm going to sew it through the page and just kind of see what it's like. You have to be careful with something like this because you are sewing through paper. So I'm going to go through it a few times just to make sure I have a nice secure knot, and then cut it off. So there's my first one. So the book's going to look like this. I'm going to open the page to that, and then I'm going to open it to this, and I'm going to have a free-flowing fish. And I'm going to do that throughout the book. So I'm cutting these out with a little bit of white rim around it. If you want to, you can pay really close attention and cut it just like really close. But I think this looks fine for the purpose that I'm doing. And since the paper is kind of light underneath, it just works out great. So now I want to see what fish I want over here. I think this orange one kind of looks nice. Let me see what else I've got. I've got an orange fish right there. I'm going to do this fish because it's just a little bit more of a variation on size compared to the one on the previous page, but it'll look nice on that paper. All right, nice. Okay, so I've got that one there. I'm going to do this one higher and maybe over there. So I might try, I still have some thread. I'm going to put some ink on it first. Lay down some glue. I'm going to let that dry and think about what I want on some other pages. So I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I want to do at least 12 fish. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I have all kinds of fish to pick from. Okay. I'd say this one's ready to go in. So I'm going to do it the same way. I'm just going to pierce the paper, pull my thread through, give a little length, and then go right in that same hole. And then I want to start making a knot through that loop I've got. So I'll do that a few times, going in that top area. Let me go closer. So now I've got a knot going on, and that fish is going to hold still. Okay, so there's going to be a fish on each page, so that is going to be fun. I'm going to reload my needle so I can be sewing them on. I'm just going to turn over these all right now and just not glue them up. Do the distressing all at once and then cut it out, because it's easier doing it that way than going back after it's cut with those little edges. Just a little tip. So I'm going to kind of organize my little fish by size, so when I'm looking for something I can kind of grab it.
Okay. Here's a station in the Top System on Amazon Music.
Okay, here we are at the end of the book. I want to give you a flip through and also just point out a few things. So when we finish the back, I use this to glue the twine in place. So I glued it down initially and then I placed that over the top, gluing it, and it holds nicely. When you do your tying part, so I have a shorter piece here and a longer piece here. So let me just measure that for you so you can see. So coming off the edge of the book, when you measure it, there's like 7 1/4 inches. So coming off on the area that the spine is going to be open, you have the shorter one, and then the longer one is going on the other side. Does that make sense? And this is a close-up too. I know I got a little bit out of shot there, but I just framed in a word. Use any word that you like, and I put one of the fish on the bottom. So there's what that looks like. The other thing that I added was right here. It's just like some kind of a piece. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a canvas. Something that I ripped so that I could get that kind of edge on it. And I just hot glued that on the edge. So here's the book. Let me go a little closer and let's get a feel for what's in it. So I just picked out words and I put whatever word I wanted on that page. Now on this front page, it actually would have been nice to put, how big is it? That one would have gone nicely there, but I didn't think about it until afterwards. So here's the first fish. I put it on that portion of the page. Here's my second one hanging, and I put these little blue parts there just to create the feel almost of water, just bring a little color in onto the page. Another fish hanging here. I chose different lengths, always the same way of sewing it on though. I chose to put some of them going over, cutting the edge, like you can see just part of it sticking up of the top there. And then this word I placed right below it. Here's this little cutie of a fish. I can either have him in front or I can put him behind with his tail kind of sticking out. I put 2 on this one on each of the pieces that I tied the spine with. Here's this one, little shorty. So it's just sweet. A fish on each page, right? Catch of the day. And then there's plenty of space to actually write. It's a very obvious thing. There's that fish. Nice variety of fish. Here we are coming to the end. So this one's kind of peeking out. And then freedom. Freedom on the end. So that's the book. I hope you liked it. I hope if you make it that you enjoy making it. It's a nice, easy book to make. So it's great for something like a birthday gift or for Father's Day for that someone that is a fisher person that would enjoy it. I might also point out, if you can see on this string, on my twine, I did some distressing. And how I did that, I took my ink, pretend this is my twine right there. All I did is I inked it up like this and I pulled my twine through it, and so then I got color. I don't know if it shows up there, but then the color gets on my twine or my string or my whatever it is that you're using to bind it. So there you go. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead, place them on down below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. Thank you for watching. Have a fabulous day, and I will talk with you later. Bye.